appears there are now big problems for Prince Harry and Meghan Markle with yet another one of their mega deals. But as ever, what is the bigger problem and how could it be solved? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. Thanks for joining me. Thank you also for your very kind comments about our night at the theatre in Halifax, West Yorkshire, to see all of those 50s and 60s global superstars. I know, when you look at age catches up with us all, doesn't it? It's terrible, but they were brilliant, you know. When you listen to those songs like Venus in Blue Jeans and my favourite actually, Happy Holiday, was, I think it was a big hit for Andy Williams, do you remember? Now, I'm going to tell you very quickly, I know people tell me off for waffling on, but I met Andy Williams on the very last time he came to the United Kingdom. He was over here to promote, I think, a greatest hits album or something. His track, Music to Watch Girls Go By, had been used in a very successful TV ad, and so he came over to help promote it. Lovely man, very down to earth, most amazing teeth, let me tell you. Yes, you know, they all spend on their dental work, these superstars, don't they? But he was a wonderful, wonderful guy, and just everything you wanted him to be. And let's not forget, of course, he was the man that gave us the Osmonds. He gave them their very big break on his TV show way back in the early 60s. A very quick memory there, and I know I'll get told off. Back as ever to your breaking roll. Sorry, got the giggles. I love it when you tell me off though. Back as ever to your breaking roll story of the day. Now, it's interesting, isn't it, with Harry and Meghan? As I said, you know, they had these mega deals online, and then things went wrong, went good, went bad. And seemingly this particular deal now has stalled. And as we told you here on the show before, there's a reason behind why this particular deal has stalled for Prince Harry. And here's the reason why. The deal all centres on, of course, his forthcoming book, his memoir, which he's been paid a lot of money for, to have ghostwritten or, you know, told to, you know. I'm never really a fan of that sort of thing, you know, because again, you know, somebody else is structuring your story. You should be able to do your own story and basically just get an editor to put it together, to put all the grammar in it, that sort of stuff. Really, it comes from the heart, I think, if you start to write it yourself. When you are just telling someone your story, it's interesting. I remember interviewing a lady who had actually interviewed Prince Harry for a book. And again, you know, she allegedly wasn't allowed to take any notes or record any devices or anything like that. And she had to rush out of Kensington Palace and write it all down. And I did say, well, how could you remember everything? You know, it's impossible to do it. And so this has been the bigger problem for Penguin Random House and Prince Harry. Now, there's no firm date as to when this book was going to be. Of course, he got a lot of backlash when it was announced because of the Platinum Jubilee year. But according to a very good source at Penguin Random House, and as ever, you hear it, allegedly, they basically are a little bit concerned as to how worthy it is, you know. As I say, when the deal was signed, you know, the world was a different place. They wanted bigger stories, you know, and they were quite happy to go into the woke world. That, weirdly, is now declining, thankfully. And of course, what people want is integrity, truth. But also, you know, when you're selling a book, as I've said many times before, you need salaciousness, gossip, breaking stories, things you never heard of, particularly spats and fallouts. That works very well in the book industry. And when you've paid Prince Harry so much money, then that is a bigger problem. Now, according to that good source, they've got quite a lot of the now draft of the book. And apparently executives at Penguin Random House are, shall we say, underwhelmed, to be kind, allegedly. But of course, you know, it now goes back to the rewrite stage, and then they have to decide how they can flesh out certain elements of the book to make it look interesting and more sellable, you know, particularly to a newspaper that may pay a substantial amount to serialise the book. But as ever, the bigger problem is this. Prince Harry allegedly is very happy with what he's written, what he's put down, and really doesn't want to change too much about it. And that's the stubbornness of course, Harry and Meghan. They truly believe that what they're making is right. Nothing wrong with that. But of course, the other people, the experts in the real world, know exactly what's going to sell. And this is part, whatever you've read, of a 3-book deal, not a 4-book deal, but a 3-book deal. So if this doesn't work out particularly well for Prince Harry, then the bigger problem that you have is they will decline not just Harry's next book, but of course Meghan Markle's next book. And there is another book to follow on from the bench, whichever you may have read. So for now, while they go back to the drawing board to make it more spicy, no one truly knows when this would come out. What I've been told by Penguin Random House is they want it out around October time latest, because that is the big push up to Christmas. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.